The street stretched out, empty. Houses stood silent like abandoned tombs. Windows once bright were now hollow eyes, staring into nothingness. Wind howled through the skeletal trees, their branches bare and twisted. The world was a graveyard. John, Sarah and little Emily had seen this desolation for months. They moved like ghosts themselves, scavenging for scraps in the abandoned homes. Each doorway promised something, each one delivered nothing but echoes of the past. They had found canned goods, some clothes, a half-empty bottle of whiskey. Never enough, never what they really needed. But they held on to each other, a tiny island of warmth in the cold, dead sea. 6 months. 6 months since the bombs fell. 6 months of fear, of hunger, of watching the world die. John still had nightmares, the flashes of light, the screams. He pushed them down deep inside, trying to be strong for Sarah, for Emily. Sarah, once so full of life, was now gaunt, her eyes haunted. But she still sang Emily to sleep with old lullabies, her voice cracking, trying to bring back a whisper of normalcy. Emily, only 5, still asked about Grandma, about their dog Sparky. They told her they were safe, happy. A lie, but what else could they do? They clung to each other, their love the only shield in a world gone mad. They reached a new street. Same story. Empty houses, silent streets, except for one. At the end of the street, a small house, almost hidden by overgrown weeds. And next to it, a garage. A heavy metal garage. The lock was rusty but strong. John smashed it with a rock, the sound unnaturally loud in the stillness. The doors creaked open, revealing a sight that stopped their hearts. 3 cars, gleaming, beautiful, powerful, Ford Falcons, John's dream. And next to them, a workbench, tools, ammunition boxes. And in the corner, something else. Large duffel bags overflowing with something that made John's heart race. Weed. Pounds of it. Section 4. A glimmer of hope. For the first time in months, John felt something other than despair. Hope. It surged through him, hot and fierce. These cars, this weed, it was a lifeline, a chance. He looked at Sarah, saw the flicker of amazement in her eyes, the faintest hint of a smile on her lips. Emily, sensing the shift, ran into the garage, her laughter echoing in the vast space. "Look, Daddy, cars like yours." John swept her up in his arms, holding her tight. This wasn't just a garage, it was a fortress, a sanctuary. With these cars they could travel, search for others, for a new beginning. With the weed, they could trade, they could survive. They had been clinging to life, barely surviving. Now they had a chance to live. Section 5. A new beginning. "This is it," John said, his voice rough with emotion. "This is our home now." Sarah nodded, her eyes shining with unshed tears. It wasn't much, this garage, this street of ghosts, but it was a start. They moved quickly, efficiently. Boarding up the garage doors, checking the cars, the supplies. They worked as one, their movements fueled by a shared purpose, a shared hope. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, they stood outside their new home. The world was still a wasteland, but for the first time in a long time they didn't feel lost in it. They had each other, they had hope, and they had a future. And in this new broken world, that was everything.